and then we put our hands together so that we can be able to move forward. The other request is please try to put off the videos so that we can improve the connectivity, the bandwidth, and then we can be able to improve the quality. Remember, those of us who are in the Facebook are not able to get the quality presentation because of that. So kindly, you can try to put off the videos. So we put our hands together and welcome Dr. Samson Kariuki. Dr. Samson Kariuki is going to take us on group work and group processing. This is a short session, so I'm urging you to have your notebook, take the notes so that you can be able to revise, go over it again and again, because today is about competencies, about skills that you need to use when you're online, when you are going through the module, and when you are doing anything else, so that you can be able now to consolidate and receive data and information that you can use for other activities in the module. And to that end, then please keep your notebook and keep it, updated accordingly. So thank you so much, Dr. Kariuki. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Francis. Do confirm that I'm audible kindly. Yes, you are.
Dr. Kariuki, you are audible enough. What you can do is, if you can do the slides on this on the presentation mode for those who are on the Facebook and those who are streaming, it will be okay. Thank you. Wonderful. There you are.
So thank you, Francis, and teachers Walemu. In all capacities, I do recognize your presence and thank you for choosing Kenyatta University. It is the best from none. So this session is a bit short and brief to the point. And the purpose of this session is to enable you as participants to be able to participate in the group work and the group processing that will be taking place in the sessions from the first day to the last day, which is the 5th day. Just a quick overview of what has been transpiring since yesterday, and just trying to have a diagrammatical representation of the activities is that we were taken through yesterday morning on the KWL, which will be the first session every time that we'll be meeting. And that session will be taking part, the better part of the morning. And then we're having a midday, and the midday we are going to have the actual facilitation through content delivery, and it will be more of expounding on what also we'll have done in KWL. Then this will be followed in the afternoon session with what you're calling the group work, group processing. And the day will end with a reflection on the day. So basically, this is how we have structured the module training. And for this particular presentation in the afternoon, I just want to take you through what will be taking place in the afternoons for the group work and the group processing. And just to mention the reflection of the day, which has been mentioned. So you find that the KWL in the morning tends to inform the actual presentation, and the actual presentation together with KWL will actually be able to assist you participate in the group work in the most better way. So do not miss the morning session, do not miss the midday session, so that you can be in a position to actively participate in the afternoon sessions for the group work and the group processing. So this will make the whole day. So now a quick focus on the group work and the group processing. We are saying the group work is more of cooperative learning in a method that you're saying, a method of instruction that you as participants, you as a teachers, you tend to work together in groups. We were already been told that you're going to learn from each other, from our experiences, from our day-to-day activities that we've been doing, and together we are able to build up new knowledge and new skills, and we're able to change our behavior in our work behavior from what it was to a new thinking. They say from the learning theory that if we tend to involve ourselves so much in the group discussions, if we participate in the group discussion, we are able to retain at least 50% of what will have been. If we go further and practice what we'll have discussed, then we'll be able to retain even 75%. And further to that, if we can go further and cascade the information that we have received to the others through teaching them, then we are almost getting to 100%. So we have been encouraged to participate in these particular groups. And once also we get back to our learning institutions, then we can try to practice some of the concepts that we have been able to have obtained. And further to that, we can still go further and try even to share this knowledge with others. And in that, we'll be able to have changed our way of doing things into the 21st century teacher. So that's why we are looking at the group work in terms of training, how much can we be able to retain? So this is more of participant, teacher-driven activity. Now, in an ideal case, we are going to have a group work. Yet not for the situation that we are in. It will be a face-to-face. And we'll be having this kind of a scenario where we sit together in a round table and we are able to discuss together. And therefore, as we have been mentioned in some presentation, we have a number of groups. So you might be put into a particular group, say group F. Within that particular group, then the facilitator will prepare some breakout rooms, some smaller groups within that major group. So you might find yourself in a small group of maybe 80 participants or even 10 or even less. So that now you can be able to have that group interaction. So KU has designed something that you're not going to have and therefore you're going to have an opportunity to network, to create relationships, to be able to learn from each other, share experiences, and be able to build up an idea and even knowledge. But what will happen is we are going to have the virtual group work. And therefore, we are not going to have the face-to-face. We are going to have the virtual, and therefore we are going to work remotely. And therefore, the ideal situation is where we are saying that you'll be operating with your gadget from wherever you are at the comfort of your zone. And together with other people, you'll be connected. You'll connect yourself just as you're doing in the Zoom, and you'll be able to communicate to each other. But the practices that we'll have done into face-to-face, definitely you have to take them in the group virtual. We may not be in a position to benefit from the that we can get, but we can be able to create that community of learning virtually. So the group work will be done also virtually, and they will be organized and facilitated by your facilitators. Now, within a particular given group, if you're going to be in group 1, then within that group, you're going to have a number of breakout rooms. Call them breakout room N. You might find yourself within group 1, but in breakout room 1. You might find yourself in group 1, breakout room 2. 1, you might go to group 3, or within the same group, you might go to breakout room N. So a particular group will be having smaller groups, which I'm referring to as breakout rooms here. And therefore, you'll be there as numbers, maybe 5 of you, 6 of you, 8 or 10 of you, and you'll be given a task to accomplish. All these groups will be monitored remotely by a facilitator, by Kenyatta University facilitator from a central point. And therefore, the facilitator will be able to be feeding into each and every small group within the facilitator's cluster group. For that reason, into these particular breakout rooms. So for us to be able to know how do we find ourselves into these breakout rooms, then I have a number of take-homes that you need to be able to note them down so that you don't get lost in this. Take-home number 1 is that you need to understand that you'll have to participate in a virtual breakout room that will be assigned to you by the facilitator. So the facilitator is the one to assign you a particular breakout room. So you should not worry. You should not go outside there trying to create your own breakout room or a smaller group. Leave it to the facilitator. They will organize it for you. Just get home knowing that, yes, you will participate virtually into one breakout room. Take home number 2 is, how do I access into this particular virtual breakout room? Again, as I said, it will be the role and responsibility of the facilitator to give you access to the particular virtual small group. And there will be a number of options that the facilitators may apply. But whichever option that will be used into, it will be easier for you to use, and you'll be able to find yourself to the breakout room. And if you get lost, it will be also easier for you to be able to track back your steps. One of the options that the facilitator may use is automatically or manually within the system pushing you into a particular breakout room randomly, or even using a particular criteria. That is possible, and it can happen, where all of you, you've been a group of maybe 50 students or even 60 or 70, and then the facilitator automatically uses a system to break you into smaller groups for you to go and deliberate more. The second option may be a situation whereby we may create a link and share the link to your email or in your WhatsApp cluster groups. So we'll be creating WhatsApp cluster groups, and within this particular group, you'll be shared probably the link that is going to guide you towards a particular smaller group. So whichever option will be done, it will be communicated to you on how to access a particular virtual breakout room. Take home number 3 is that within the breakout room, within the smaller group, you'll be expected at the end of your deliberations to come back and share or even present your results to the main cluster group or to the main plenary. So you need to understand that, yes, there'll be some tasks to be done, and after the task, you'll be required to share your findings to a larger group or even to a particular group as you're going to be directed by your facilitators. Take home number 4 is what happens within the breakout rooms. What happens within the breakout rooms? 1, there will be tasks that will be assigned. You one task. The facilitator may assign you 2 tasks or even 3. So one thing that will be happening is a task will be assigned. And then within that particular task, there will be some activities that you need to undertake so that you can be able to accomplish a particular task. And again, within the same group, there will be some instructions that will be given, and therefore you need to follow those instructions. So a task will be assigned, activities identified and undertaken, and instructions followed. That is what will be happening within the breakout room. So that once you join a breakout room, probably late, you need to know very well, there was an assigned task. Get to know what task was that. Get to know what activities were required to be accomplished that particular task, so that you can know what activity have been done and what activity requires to be done. And then ask whether there are some instructions, special instructions that were given for that particular task. So I just want to give a quick example of a kind of a task that probably may be given in one of the days. A task like design a professional development support plan for a teacher in your subject area. So this is a task that may be given in one of the days, maybe day 1. able to accomplish this particular task, definitely there was a morning session which was talking about KWL, what you know and what you want to learn. Then there was an actual facilitation that would have taken place in the midday. So you already have some information, you already have background information that will assist you to be able to know where to get started in a particular task. So in this particular task, it is there and you'll be given specific time to be able to accomplish that particular task. It is not 30 minutes for all. The facilitator will assign the appropriate time for a given task. Within that particular task, there will be some activities for you to do. These are just some of the activities that will be required to take place in a group work. One of the activities will be putting your team in order by appointing a moderator, appointing a group secretary, appointing a timekeeper. When you appoint a moderator, the moderator will be in charge of that particular small group to take you through the task and the activities, while the secretary will be recording this information. And the timekeeper will ensure that you're able to adhere to the time given so that you don't spend so much time in one activity at the expense of the other activities. And then from there, you can be able to discuss in terms of who will be able to present this in the bigger panel. Some of the other activities that might be involved in that task, you need to break that task down. Maybe you need to identify the components of the teacher professional development support plan. Then you need to design the professional support plan and probably demonstrate how it will be implemented. So these are some of the activities. You may be given some of these activities by your facilitators, but again, you also need to come up with these similar activities so that you can be able to use the least time possible in the group work. So you'll be there to organize yourself, who is going to be the leader and who is going to do the rest. Allow me to give probably an output. Any task must have an output. Any task has a particular process that has to be followed, or both. So for this case, a sample of a kind of a product that probably will be required is something like this I'm sharing. That after you've gone through the task, and probably you want to come up with a teacher professional development support plan, depending on how you are taught in the morning during the KWL, what took place during the midday, then you innovatively and creatively come up with a product as a response to that particular task. This is just an example, probably something that you can present. So the secretary will have done something like this, and when you go to the plenary, then you can be able to present this to the rest of the people and they'll be able to follow. There will be various techniques of group sharing that the facilitators will be using. They may not use a particular share. Some situation will come by, depending on the number of the groups, you can be perhaps 3 groups together and share experiences, or you can bring all the groups together. So expect any kind of innovative and creativity in terms of how you're going to share your findings. Those ones will be shared by your facilitators. They may decide to use a jigsaw methods among many other innovative ways that may come across. The bottom line of it all is once you discuss in the group, you'll have to get one of you who will be able to present that information. And at times, we may come up with a method whereby everybody is required to present. Yeah, you might be 5 people in a group, and we have 5 groups. And we decide to send everybody in a particular group to go and share their findings. So it is also good for you to be able to know that as the secretary is recording, you're also putting down some notes here and there. After the group work, there will be a session that we'll be calling the group processing. After you have done your work in the group, you have discussed in the group clearly, as you come to the end of the day, there will be a session for the group processing. This task will be as it is, that you'll be required to think of one thing you each did well that contributed to the group success, and you share with your group. So you'll have to think of one thing. What is this individually now? Here you not be in groups. Here you be individual first. You ask yourself, what is one thing that I have been able to learn? You know, and what is one thing that I really did to this particular group that I have contributed to the success of this particular group? So you'll have an answer of 2.1 individually and 2.2 individually for 2.1 and 2.2, then you'll proceed back to your group and be able to share your findings. People like to hear, what is this one thing that you do well? So in other words, you are told that during your group work, try to see that you have participated, contribute, for you be required to share with everyone else what is this that you did well for the group to succeed. Lastly, as I come to an end of this, allow me just to stop sharing using the slideshow so that I can demonstrate something to you here. From the figure, what you can see is a numeric number that is between number 5 and 7. This is a number between 5 and 7. And you'll agree with me that. Then for those who are gifted and you can be able to see, kindly see what happens when we turn that number now. It becomes a number between 8 and 10. So initially we had a number between 5 and 7, which is actually 6. When you turn the number 6, it becomes 9. In brief, what I'm saying, in the group discussion, we may be talking about the same figure, but referring it in different ways, depending on where we stand and what we see. We may see 6, we may see 9. So in a group discussion, there will be give and take. As we see our perspective, let us also be in a position to see other people's perspective so that we can be able to agree together and come up with a consensus, and therefore not use a lot of time, but be in a position to have an interactive group discussion. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and that's my time. Back to Dr. Francis.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you, Dr. Samson Kariuki. That was well presented. The graphics and the writing was very clear, and that is fantastic. Thank you so much, Dr. So dear professionals and facilitators, now we have the interactive section where we are coming now to question and answer. And then after that one, we are going now to have now the program, and now we are going to end and it close down the day. Now, on that then, I'm urging the facilitators, please get to the chat, see whether there are questions coming, more questions coming, because I know, because from what you wrote in your notebooks, to consolidate what you have learned. And perhaps there is one area that you want more clarification. So look and put it there so that we can be able to respond to you. Meanwhile, now there are a few issues which I've been able to capture there. There is presentation 1. We have these issues that maybe they need clarification, because some of the comments that I'm seeing here are just compliments. Well done, well done, well done. It is very clear, it is very easy. But now there are 1 or 2 clarification. From one, Grace Nyambura is asking, kindly let me know how to access. That is what was presented by Dr. Gitonga Roda. See, that is how to access the online, the LMS, and perhaps maybe that is the question. Then from Monica Wamboi, kindly repeat the process of how to access the Kusoma platform. Then the other one says mine says invariant. There is that. Then the other one is William or Ishugwa asking, what does this mean? You cannot be able to create discussion forum because you are not a member of any group. Then we have somebody here, this is Edith saying, when are we supposed to start developing the reflective journal? When are we starting to develop the reflective journal? That is the question on how. The other one just saying how to navigate our learning management system through Kusoma platform and developing a reflective journal. Explain more on how to navigate our learning management system through Kusoma platform and developing reflective journals. And then Luce Wambari Murage, this one says, what are the requirements of one so as to be accepted in the LMS? I can't be accepted till now. And then Chris Panas Sunguti says, ETVT needs more clarification. ETVT means more clarification. Now, in that session, then allow me to ask Dr. Elizabeth Mwaniki. I think Elizabeth Mwaniki can be able to handle that so that we can get Dr. Jiroge doing the others. Dr. Elizabeth Mwaniki, our Ngorond presenter yesterday, we want to hear your voice now. Once, welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Kiremi, and good afternoon, teachers. I think there are very many questions you have asked. I hope I have captured them. I want to start with the one for ETVT. Now, the word ETVT is just a complicated word for online activity. So you see, when it is online, it is E meaning for, online. So ETVT, online activity. I think the other question, Dr. Kiremi, was on logging onto the LMS, and because we went through the steps yesterday and Dr. Gitonga started with the same steps, and because these videos are going to be available, and even as the teachers go to their various groups tomorrow with their facilitators, these videos will still be shared through a link, meaning that you can go over them over and over because the steps are quite clear. I'm trying to remember the other question. Dr. Kiremi, could you
I
give me a...
I can be able to get them back to you, Dr. Mwaniki. That is very good. Somebody is asking how to access Kusoma platform. How to access Kusoma platform because it says invariant. And then yes, how to access. The other one is when. The question here, the next question is when to start developing reflective journal. And then how to navigate the Kusoma platform when one is there or during the time when one is developing reflective journal. I think those are that I think you have answered. Welcome, Dr. Mwaniki.
Thank you, Dr. Kiremi. I think what I can say about accessing Kusoma is that any person who has not been able to log into the Kusoma platform, the issue is being sorted out. Actually, as we speak, our program, our system programmer is working behind the scenes. Because what may have happened, and these are not my words, these are the words from the system programmer, is that, some of these students may not have filled the online registration form that was, shared out. And that means that they do not have an account because we may not have had their details. And I'm sure there are some of you, we've already sent that form right now, and you have filled the form and you've been able to access or log into Kusoma. So it is something that we are working on, and there's a hotline that was shared by Ken Mwirigi, who is our system programmer, and all the concerns are going to that that line. However, teachers should not get worried. Remember, we are meeting tomorrow in smaller groups with your facilitators. So some of these issues can still be picked, even tomorrow. So do not get worried. All is going to be well. We are working round the clock, but we'll get you sorted. By tomorrow, I think everyone should be able to log into their Usoma platforms. Now, as for journals and the reflections, let me say that the reflections are supposed to be written at the end of each day. So because we are starting the first session tomorrow, once you are done at around maybe 4:30 with your facilitators, then you are supposed to get onto the LMS and, write the reflections of the day. That way it's easier so that you do not forget, and so that perhaps whatever has been learned during the day, maybe the improvements that you'd want done, are not lost into the following day's activities. So you could take maybe some few hours, sit down, reflect. You could even decide you'll have your supper, and as you have your supper, you're also maybe thinking about the day, what is it that you learned, and then, feel it before the following day. So the reflections are supposed to be done every day. So there will be 5 reflections, as we have been saying, for the 5 days. But remember, there is one that is going to be a mega reflection that is going to come towards the end of the session. Now, the session, that word means, you see now we have the December session, and it's going to go all the way from January up to end of March, so that now we start the April session. As we said yesterday, there's going to be a lot of online interactions still going on within the LMS. I think you saw the various discussion forums, and we said that please feel free to even keep adding any new insights, even in February, even in March. And therefore, the final reflection is going to come towards the end of the session. And this is the one that will incorporate all the learnings between December and perhaps end of March. So it will have details of everything that you'll have experienced, everything that you'll have learned, and in totality, all that has happened. Then as for navigating the LMS, I think I already answered that. That was the first question I dealt with.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mwaneki, for those detailed discussions and guidance. Remember, we are trying to consolidate what you have been doing today, and possibly if there is something for yesterday, so that we have the take home. Now, I come to Dr. Njoroge, Rose Njoroge. A few issues here. And please, colleagues, I'm kindly requesting that is because as I'm talking, there are a lot of movements and activities in the chat. You can take a look and please see there is something that you can be able to respond to. We will give you the opportunity for each of us to make a comment, do the winding up, and you can address it accordingly so that we don't miss anything to give the best in us. So Dr. Njoroge, I think there are a few issues here perhaps you can be able to respond to. The comments we get here are saying that your session was well presented. It was illustrative and it was quite clear. However, there is 1 or 2 issues here. Rita Sengu Mudui is asking, kindly elaborate on, clarify on e-portfolios. The email is Gmail, or is it the student ku.ac.ke? Then there is a Lucy Wambogo Murage who is asking, can one use a smartphone to create the portfolio and save? And Munge is asking, what type of documents are you expecting to file in the drive? The reflections or kindly clarify. Obongo Thomas Oduor is asking, if there could be a repetition of creation of reflective journals in the LMS, please. I think that is asking for a bit of repetition. And then anyone is asking, kindly repeat creation of e-portfolio. I missed. So Dr. Njoroge, you can see how you give your comments on these ones. Welcome, Dr. Rose. Dr. Rose, welcome. Afrik, please unmute
Okay.
Rose Njoroge.
Thank you, and I'm unmuted now.
Oh, thank you, Dr.
Thank you, Dr. Kirimi. Thank you, our teachers. It is good there are questions coming from you. It means that you are quite attentive, and that's why questions are coming concerning the presentation. The first one is about the email. Email, it doesn't have to be a corporate email. So long as you have a Gmail account. Remember, this Google Drive is on Google applications. And therefore, if you have a Gmail account, then you'll be able to access Google Drive. The shortcut to Google Drive, which maybe I didn't show, is drive.google.com. drive.google.com. That takes you direct to Google Drive. Remember, if you do not have a Gmail account, you'll be required to sign up and have a Gmail account if you use drive.google.com. If you have a Gmail account, you can log in into your Gmail account and then get to the Drive. The other question that is coming is about use of smartphone. Yes, if you go to Google Play Store, again, you can download Google Drive. Some of the smartphones, the Google Drive is actually on one of the pages that you browse. You don't have to go to your Gmail, because somebody was asking, I am not, was saying, I'm not seeing the 9 dots. Sorry, but you can get Google Drive directly on one of the pages on your smartphone. Alternatively, if you go to your browser, be it, and especially the Google Chrome or any other browser you are using, then type drive.google.com. Again, you'll be able to get to the Drive. Somebody was asking about the type of documents to file into the e-portfolio. We mentioned e-portfolio is as
Sorry, Dr.
Sorry for that. E-portfolio is a storage. Sorry for that. It's a storage space where we sorry for
understandable. The flu is everywhere. Okay.
Maybe a sister, she tries to
take some water
to get back.
Water, yes.
Okay. What we have been saying since yesterday is that now Kenneth, somebody needs to mute Kenneth.
Yes, Afrik, try to mute to help us mute those ones so that we can be able to to be effective?
Okay. My answer will actually be based on, you know, when you look at what Dr. Kariuki has very well presented, at each and every step, you know, in those group work and even in the actual facilitation, you realize that there is some material coming out of it. For example, the first session, anytime you get into class, is the KWL, which is going to yield a lot of material because of the deliberations therein. Then after that, there will be the actual facilitation, where the facilitator gives you the content. Again, there's a lot that you are learning there. So remember, the e-portfolio is like a notebook. I think Kenneth may need to be muted. Yeah. So the e-portfolio is like a notebook. If you are meeting face to face and we had the KWL, then the actual facilitation, the group work and the group processing, you would be jotting down some notes for later use, for future reference. So this is the same thing that is going to happen. At each and every step, there is going to be some material that you have learned, some content, and that is what you'll put on the, you know, you'll save in that e-portfolio in form of short summarized notes. Even the reflections that you are going to write every day, always ensure that you have also saved a copy there. So this is like the storehouse of all the work that you are going to do in TPD, because as we said yesterday, Big Brother, TSC, will be watching. They may one day decide, can we see what your teachers have been doing? And the only way to really prove that you have been active is for you to share that link with us and for us to share it maybe with the TSC. So everything you think is important, every learning, every learning information coming or arising from the various activities, that is where to store it. Okay. Of course, you'll first save it maybe on your computer or type it directly on your phone, but at the end of it all, save it that e-portfolio. Stabilized?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Mwaniki. You have actually elaborated. Thank you so much. I think the other question was about the repetition, and I would say, just like what Dr. Mwaniki had mentioned, we'll provide the slides, we'll provide the notes, because we may not be able to repeat the session. It is taking quite a long time, a whole hour, and allow us to give you the step-by-step process of working on those areas, and this will be provided to you, and you'll be able to follow. I think all the questions have been answered, unless there is any other that has not been addressed. Dr. Kirimi, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rose. Colleagues, please keep watching, keep an eye on the chat box. I'm sure there will be also some other questions that may require you to give attention. Now, Dr. Mwaniki, somebody is asking for evaluation form for the day. So you can reshare the link on the evaluation form so that we can be able to get the feedback for the day as we did for yesterday. Now, there is a few issues here. I'm welcoming Dr. Olivia. Dr. Olivia, you can clarify these issues here. We have somebody asking, still we have a challenge indicating invalid user. I think that has been clarified as well. Could you please send to us recorded presentations in our emails? And then what is the fate of those who did not join from the beginning, meaning from yesterday? clarify. The other one is clarify on the 5 days training because I am anxious concerning New Year Eve plus the New Year festivities. And then Saturday presentations for SDA worshippers because it may be an issue, a challenge. Then the other one, you also need a sign language interpreter in consideration to our different enabled colleagues. So Dr. Olivia, I think you can say 1 or 2 words on that. Dr. Olivia.
Okay, sorry, Dr. Kirimi.
Yes, Dr. Rose.
Yes, before Dr. Olivia answer another question or concern that I saw from the chat room. Somebody was saying that you need to pay for you to get Google Drive. And I want to say this is not the case. Just like the way you open an email account without paying, Google Drive, you don't need to have any payment to use Google Drive. It is free. It is part of your Gmail account. I need to clear that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rose. Now, Dr. Olivia.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Kirimi. Is this the last of the questions so that I can answer and we wind up?
I think so because that's one.
Yeah, and so sorry, I think at some point I was on phone. So the last question I picked from you about those of us who are enabled differently. Was that the last question?
I can repeat that, Tari. Sorry for that.
Okay.
Somebody is saying that they have challenges indicating name and the password, invalid name and password. Invalid name and password. Then the other one says, could you send to us recorded presentations to our Gmails? Then somebody is asking, what is the fate of those who did not join from the beginning, meaning yesterday? Then the other question is clarify on the 5 training days, please, because I'm anxious concerning the New Year's Eve plus the New Year's festivities. And then the other one is now on the, we need a sign language interpreter in consideration of our different able colleagues. I think those few ones, Dr. Olivia.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Kirimi. I am going to respond to those questions as I do perhaps just the winding up of the training session. So allow me to respond to the last question, and then I make some few remarks that may respond to some of those issues that have been raised. Yes, I mentioned yesterday, and we'll repeat today, that we have a department of special needs. It has been merged with another, but that means, therefore, that we have the capacity to take care who are able differently. So it may be not now that the module has been repurposed or prepared for their use, but you can be sure, in collaboration with the Teacher Service Commission, we should be able to take care of those needs. Yeah, I think that answers that question, maybe not very comprehensively, but that is what I'm able to say at this point in time.
Can I also say, Olivia? Maybe
yes,
let me just help you. Let me help you. Sorry for interrupting. There's something very, very important that they need to know, that when you go to our LMS, there is an accessibility button. And I think the Dr. Bunyasi, who is from the Special Needs Department, can bear me witness that accessibility button, so that even participants who cannot see there's a button they touch, and the device allows them to read what is in the module. And that is already activated. So I do not think there will be many problems, especially maybe with those who are, cited differently. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Olivia. Over to you.
Dr. Olivia.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ali, for that clarification. And so, dear participants, allow me to just start off by congratulating you. Congratulations to all of you. You have actually created content for your reflective journals already. By participating in this plenary session, you have done extremely well. And I'm sure the facilitators will readily indicate that you have exceeded expectations, because it's been 2 days of us being here, listening to one facilitator after the other, but you've been able to demonstrate resilience. And we thank you for that. On behalf of all my colleagues and on behalf of the Kenyatta University fraternity, we want to just congratulate you for being able to accomplish this initial step that was very, very critical. Remember, the plenary session was just for you to have a feel of what your experience is going to be like. This is going to be a long journey. In fact, for some of you, when mentioned that the whole process may take 30 years, you are saying, no, this is not the kind of thing I want to get involved in, because it's going to be a long, long engagement. You are going to interact with Dr. Moniki, Dr. Njoroge, and many other colleagues who are on this platform. They didn't have an opportunity to speak to you, but tomorrow you'll be with them one-on-one. So you are going to have a long-term relationship with these faculty members. And so I want to assure you on their behalf that you are in safe hands. You are in safe hands. We are committed to making this experience pleasurable. We are committed to ensure that we do not add on to the stress that you already have. We know there's TPD, there are timelines, and many, many other things that are happening. And so we want to make this as easy as possible for you people. And so once again, congratulations. Now, I want to make this announcement. We had shared some Google Meet links. Please discard those groups. We had even grouped you. Remember, for us, this is also a learning experience. We are trying this, we are trying that, just to make sure that we get something that works well for you. So we are saying now, please disregard those groups. You may have found yourself in group 20, group 21, whatever. Just disregard all those groups, because what we have done, once you're able to access the LMS platform and you have been told you just need your TSC number, which is your unique identifier, to access the LMS platform, and then you use the password 1234, which you can later change to what you can easily remember. Once you get onto that platform, you will discover that you have been grouped already in that platform and a facilitator allocated to you. Now, those of us who have interacted with you are just about 5. We are a lot more on this forum. We are over 30 of us on this forum, and we were with you from yesterday. So you're going to meet many more of us. Now, the Google Meet links will be available on that platform. Once you access it, you find your name, the name of your facilitator, their email address, and you will be able to get the links on that platform. There are those of you who have not been able to access the platform, and this is because you perhaps have not registered using the online registration platform. So kindly, if we sent you a link, because we were trying to make sure no one loses out on this plenary session, so we shared the link quickly so that you can join, you can follow on Facebook. We want you to ensure you register using the online registration form. Then we can be able to capture your details and make sure you can access the learning management system, the Kusoma platform, because that is where you'll identify your group, where from tomorrow you are interacting with your individual facilitator. I hope that is quite clear. Now, something else that is important is how do you communicate going forward? Of course, your immediate point of contact will be your facilitator, who you'll get to know tomorrow. If we had not stayed here the whole day and we are tired, we'd give them an opportunity, each and every one of them, to just say a word. But you will get to interact with them in your individual groups. So that is your point of contact, first point of contact. But you can always email whatever questions you have to TPD coordinator, and already many of you have that email address. So you can email your concerns, you can email your questions. We will do our best to be able to respond to them. This initial engagement may not have been the best because we were dealing with very, very many numbers. And like yourselves, we were also learning. This is new for us. It's new for all the service providers. So we were trying to do our best under very difficult circumstances in some situations. So bear with us. If we didn't respond to your needs the way we needed to, we mean well, and we hope that going forward, we'll meet your needs to your expectations. Now, so I have said, and let me repeat, if you cannot access the LMS platform, and there's so many messages on the chat room to that effect, it may be because of the late registration, and so we haven't captured your details in the system, and therefore we have not made it possible for you to access the LMS platform. So make sure you do the online registration. While with your facilitators in the smaller groups, actually we have made sure the groups are anything between 150 and 200, and we may reduce them as time goes by. So once you're on that platform, it will be possible to create WhatsApp groups where you can form a community of practice and you can be able to interact at that level. You know, you can take this a notch higher and even away from your facilitators, watch. There are a lot of conversations, a lot of interactions that can happen in the WhatsApp forum. I think basically that is what is important for now. And I want to again emphasize, I posted this on the forum, but I want to emphasize that there is a hotline. There's a number that I posted in the chat room that you can call if you have any difficulty trying to access the LMS platform, the Kusoma platform. You can call that number and someone will be able to assist you to be able to access that platform. I hope that I've addressed some general issues that maybe one or two people could have been wondering which way forward in this regard. And so I want to wish you well, and I want to repeat this, that our mantra is keep calm. Just keep calm, like you're told by Dr. Rhoda, keep calm, it shall be well. You are moving out of the hands of this group, and you are moving to a smaller family where you'll be taken care of very, very well. So don't panic. If there's anything that didn't go well, anything you may not have understood, you still have an opportunity to ask those questions and they'll be clarified. And you still have an opportunity to reach any one of the facilitators here and they can clarify whatever questions you need answered. I can see, Lucas, you have your hand up, but I want to encourage you so that we don't take forever to just post the questions that you have in the forum. because other colleagues are keeping watch and they can be able to respond. Lucas, your hand is up. Is there something you really need to say, please? Lucas Kamu.
About the question of 5 days, which members have asked in the group.
Yes, let me respond to the 5 days. Now, day 1 and 2, 28th and 29th, we plan this to be the plenary session, the orientation session. And so our intention was that the training proper begins tomorrow. Okay? And we'll let you know how we probably will merge the 2 days, day 1 and 2, and make it 1 day, so that you do 4 days. You do 4 days for now. Remember, we must do 5 days every holiday. So we may call day 1 and 2 1 day, because part of it was orientation. Part of it was just for you to understand the environment, to understand how the interaction is going to be, what you're going to do, what your expectations are, and what our expectations are. Then now, tomorrow, we then embark on content delivery as per the module. I hope that answers that question, Lucas. And my colleagues, if anybody wants to jump in to just emphasize on anything, please do so.
Thank you, Dr. Olivia. Allow me to remind them to fill the evaluation form, which is on in the chat, so that we can be able to see what we need to improve and what we need to fine tune going forward, because this is just a beginning, as it was said. Thank you, Dr. Olivia.
So, Dr. Kirimi, are there any questions? Just a minute, let me talk to Professor.
Oh, I think, thank you, Dr. Olivia. As we talk to Professor, also you can invite him to give his final remarks. Actually, the questions that are there are issues that we are going to address in our groups when we get to our small groups. So I want to assure you that this is a safe pair of hands, and we are going to ensure that all your interests and issues are taken care of, guide you on how you can be able to do what is required in real time. So feel free. Each of us in every group is equal to the task, and every issue will be addressed, including that of when you are not available on a particular day. The group will show you how to navigate it, so that at least we move forward, because professionals take care of each other. Because there will be always emerging issues, and when emerging issues come, the group will take care of you. Remember, the approach here is collaborative, and when we are collegial, we collaborate and share problems together. We look at solutions together. We look at the most innovative way to go about this. But what we want to assure is none of us will lose on this who is enrolled. Everyone is going to attain. Everyone is on target, because teaching is on target. It is objective, it is purposeful. So we assure you that whatever questions we may not have exhausted here in this forum, particular facilitators are going to give you the way forward on that. They will consult and all them, including those ones you have not been able to ask, because we cannot be able to exhaust them, given that we don't have enough time, and we see we have a lot to prepare for tomorrow.
Yeah, so, Dr. Kirimi.
Welcome, Dr. Olivia.
Yeah, just to make it very, very clear. So we have agreed that 28th and 29th is like 1 day. All right. So now 30th and 31st, and then 8th and 9th, we'll have 4 more days, and we'll have done our 5 days in December. So we have 30th, 31st, 2 days this year, and then next year over the weekend, 8th and 9th. And so that marks at the end of the December session. Of course, the online interactions will continue with your facilitator. I thought it was important to clarify that. Esther and Moaz, You can ask, but can you also just post in the forum, Esther? I can see your hand is up. And Moas.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
My question is, which platform will you use tomorrow? Is it the Zoom or the Google Meet, or maybe clarify on that?
Google
so that
Meet.
we can get ready. Okay,
Google Meet. We will use the Google Meet platform, and you will access the links on the Kusoma platform. Once you get onto the Kusoma platform, which you will access when you use your username, which is your TSC number and the password 1234 as you enter, then you will find links in that platform to use from tomorrow. Okay, Google Meet. We are now out of the Zoom platform. So tomorrow we will use the Google Meet platform, and you will access the links on the Kusoma platform. Mwalimu, is that, have I made it clear? I don't know. Is it clear, Mwalimu?
That is very clear. That is very clear, Dr. Olivia.
Fine. Professor Kombo is not able to join us because the room is still full. So he's not able to join. And so we will just wind up with these blessings, but without hearing a word from him. But we have with us the Dean Digital School, although I can still see one hand. Is there something really pressing, Mwalimu? Okay, something pressing, please, you can ask. I can see your hand is up. Yes.
I don't know whether you're getting me.
Very clearly, very loud and clear.
I was in the class in the morning. I was kicked out, then I came back again. And we were now sharing like 3 teachers now on the same. So I was just wondering, what about tomorrow? Will it really work with the Kusoma class that will join tomorrow?
Yes, Mwalimu. What I'm saying, tomorrow you will have smaller groups with 30 facilitators, smaller groups, not larger than 200. And so there's no way anybody will be thrown out. There's no way anybody will be excluded from the platform because there's a maximum that an online platform can hold. So you are okay going forward from tomorrow.
Yeah, and just on the same note, maybe I'll request if maybe the links will be sent to the email, because today I was looking for the email. I didn't see any link for the Zoom class, So I had to ask somebody to send it to me.
Now, Mwalimu, I have said and twice that you will access the links when you enter the LMS platform, the Kusoma platform. We are also trying to just give the link to those who have registered. So access the LMS platform. If you have any difficulty, call the hotline. Then once you're on that platform, you will access the links, the Google Meet links on that platform. I hope that is useful. Now, I don't know, colleagues, are we going to take all the questions? Remember, dear participants, that you can ask these questions tomorrow when you're in the smaller groups. And let me just say this in passing. It is a good practice to rename your gadget, because so that somebody does not refer to you like Huawei and so on. So when you get onto a platform like this, it is a good practice just to rename it and indicate your name. Hannington, I could give you 1 minute, Fred Hannington, just to ask your question very briefly, and then we wind up, if you allow me, colleagues. I'm sure we are all very tired now. Hannington, okay, Fred, yeah, good afternoon.
So I just have an issue with the 8th and 9th, because I see they fall on a weekend. And in our school, we have a Saturday remedial program which runs from 8:30 to 5. So I don't know how that can be handled. Are you getting me?
Yeah, sorry, Huntington. My phone has been ringing off the hook, and that is why I missed. What did you ask? You are worried about the weekend?
Because in our school,
yes,
we have a remedial program which on Saturday runs from 8:30 to 5. And the eighth one falls on the same on Saturday.
Can I respond? I think already get the question. Sorry, Mwalimu, I have interrupted. We are under very strict instructions from the Teacher Service Commission. And by the way, there could be a representative from TSC on the platform even today. They have chosen to participate without being identified. So we are under very strict instructions, never to offer this course during working days. And so we are only left with the weekend. Unfortunately, we can only do this over the weekend. Thank you so much.
Maybe, sorry, Dr. Olivia, maybe just to help Huntington, we will only use that one Saturday of 8th. So if you can make arrangement, other teachers to engage the learners, and you'll pick up the following Saturday. So it's only that one Saturday on 8th. Thank you.
Okay, who will go first? Henry, we have Henry, Barnabas, and Obongo. And then I want to ask you, colleagues, do you have a little energy just for Dr. Maniki to show you where that link will be? Or would you like to just also navigate the platform and find it, which will also be a good experience, because certainly you'll be able to find it. Like, you know.
Let Dr. Maniki just have a few minutes to show the process that the teachers will undertake.
Fine. So Henry, Barnabas, and Obongo, can you ask your questions in just 1 minute, please?
Hello, I'm Henry.
Yes.
I wish to know, since this one is maybe the first day, you have said it's counted as the first day. Are we supposed to write the reflections of this day?
Yes, Mwalimu, I said that already you have generated a lot of content for your reflective journal, because there's so much experience that you have gained out of the interactions, bad experiences, good experiences, whatever. So you have content for your reflective journal already. The journey has begun. The journey has begun already. Mwalimu Barnabas and Mwalimu Obongo.
Barnabas.
Yes, Barnabas.
More now to get this evaluation form, is it supposed to be gotten from LMS?
Sorry, you're breaking, Mwalimu.
Evaluation form, access.
The what form?
How do we get the link?
Which
evaluation
link
form
specifically? The registration form?
Me?
Yes.
Evaluation.
Oh, the evaluation form should be.
How do we?
I think it should be.
It's on the chat, but we can reshare. We can reshare once again.
Yeah, it's in the chat room. Thank you. Mwalimu Obongo.
Yes.
And I think that's the last of the hands that have been raised. Yes.
Oh, okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Mwalimu.
Yes. I just wanted to respond to what a certain teacher raised about the remedial on Saturday. He should not even have raised the issue, because ideally, remedial was once declared illegal. So it is a local arrangement, so he should not even raise it. So even if he has classes on Saturday, watch a local arrangement here, can't raise your issue. Sorry. I know the big brother is watching.
Thank you. Thank you for that comment, Mwalimu. And thank you all. I hope there's no hand up now. I want to request Dr. Moniki just to show us how do we access the Google Meet links that we will use from tomorrow. Dr. Ri, oh, there are more hands up. Kindly post the questions in the chat room. Any one of my colleagues will respond.
So thank you, Dr. Olivia. I think this is going to be very, very short. We already went through the steps that will take us to the LMS yesterday, and that was also repeated this morning by Dr. Rhoda Gitonga, and therefore I'll not go to that. So my assumption is that we are already here, where we have managed to locate the module, and therefore mine is just to show you just 1 minute. Sorry about that. So my assumption is that we have already logged in, located the module, which is here. And I can see from this end that people are still participating. So when you get to this module, the links to your various groups. Are you seeing where my cursor is, where it is written Dr. Bunyasi TPD class from? So this is Dr. Bunyasi's link. So this small icon here, let me see whether I can, this is where the links will be. They'll look like this. Okay, so this is the place where you get the links just before the access and motivation. I think that is clear, Dr. Olivia, so that they do not get lost. It's not a very crowded platform yet, but from tomorrow, of course, you'll see, depending on the group that you've been sent to, your facilitator will have put this link, and it will be very, very clearly labeled. Like you can see this one for Dr. Bunyasi. She has even said the dates starting from 8 a.m. Wednesday, it will be very, very well, labeled, and therefore you just click on it. Now, once you click on this link, you are directly inside a Google Meet class, and you can just getting yourself onto the LMS, then you come just below the preliminaries before you get to access and motivation. There you will see this link, okay? And you'll be able now to click on it and get right inside class. So yours is just to look for it and click, and you're right inside class. Thank you, and over to you, Dr. Olivia.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Moniki, for practically explaining how to, navigate the platform. It will not it will not be like looking for, some treasure in an island. It will be very, very easy and enjoyable to, access the link on the platform. I think nothing much for me now. I hand over back to Dr. Kirimi so that we can call it a day.
Thank you, Dr. Olivia. I think from where I sit, I don't have any issue. All is well, and all that starts when it goes well. Thank you so much for the teamwork. Thank you so much for the day that we have been together, all of us as young professionals. We are going to work together in this journey, and I believe it shall be well with all of us. So thank you so much, and God bless you, and we wish you well in this one. What I want to assure you is that go ye in faith. There is nothing to be and the scholars. Don't fear anything, because it's in the legal fraternity and occasional fraternity. whether it is in architectural, any area of professionality, people always compare notes because you see issues come to evolve. Like now in education, we are seeing new levels of challenges in areas of discipline, in areas of ignorance. Ignorance is increasing, in all its varieties, in all its form. So we need to be very professional, very intentional, very precise, so that we are value driven to give transformative knowledge, skills, and the competencies that can reverse the situations. We have the will, we have the passion, and we have the software to do that. The only thing is that we need to be persistent, consistent, collaborate, work together in courageous and camaraderie spirit, and all shall be well. Dr. Olivia, over to you.
I think let's call it a day, and thank you, participants, and let's look forward to another fruitful session next day, tomorrow. Have a lovely evening and keep safe.
Dean, Dr. Onyango, Dean.
Yes.
You had given your remarks?
I'm done.
Yeah, because the system seems to have locked Dr. Olivia out. Now I think because we started with God, with our destiny shaper, the omnipresent, and who is going to guide us in all this exercise is going to say thank you to God as our Father, as our Lord, and our Creator, and the giver of life in His own divinity and internal life. So to this moment then, we need to thank God generously and passionately, religiously for the good things that He continues and He will continue to do for us. Dr. Beatrice Bunyasi, you can be able to grace and pray for us to end this session. Thank you. Welcome, Dr.
Thank you, MC Dr. Kirimi. Let us pray, members. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you this evening for bringing us this far, Lord. We asked you at the beginning to grant us good health, love, and understanding. Indeed, we have experienced your closeness with us as you have given our organizers, facilitators, including the IEC team, the MC himself, and all participants, strength and power to teach us new knowledge. Father, we acknowledge that you remained in our midst and opened our minds to this great learning. What we have achieved this far, Lord, we glorify you. The insights and new skills in what we know and what to learn is a justification of your powerful hand for your servants. The practical aspects have changed our mindset, Father, and we feel renewed, Lord. Be with us till the end of the fight, and praise be to you, our Father. Continue to protect us against all ills and challenges as we look upon you. Grant us good health for purposes of improving our professional growth. Bless KU, our great university. Bless our teachers wherever they are engaging in this task. Bless all facilitators for the good performance. I ask this prayer believing and trusting in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
And may the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God the Father and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forever. Amen. Cheers, cheers, members. Can you put up your videos, remove your videos, you see your face? We are taking a photo session. We are Amen. Yes, I'm also removing mine.
Dr. Kirimi, may I request all members of the planning team to remain behind? All members of the planning team, please remain behind.
The planning team to be left behind, but now young professionals want to see your faces. We are in a photo session. We are in a photo session, please. You can be able to see your faces so that we take care of that. Then it will be documented so that the documentary that is going to come and shared, then you see yourself.
Pin the speaker.
Pin the speaker.
I am of the idea that next time you ask us, you notify us in advance.
Good.
Fred, you can unpin the speaker so that you're able to take a good photo.
I hope, Dr. Krimi, the photo session is over. Back to Africa.
Yes, back to Africa so that we can be able to have a small consultative session as Dean has suggested. So members can leave at their own pleasure. It has been great pleasure having you for the 2 days. We touch base tomorrow in our small groups so that we can take the discussion further. So thank you.